Welcome, friends. It's time to get your cacao ready and settle in as we join for another episode of Megan Hopper Presents The Cacao Crowd, where we'll connect to heal, empower, and learn to love ourselves a little more each day. Hey, everybody. So glad you could join us this Thursday, 6:15, just like every other week. We have a very intriguing show today because water is something we all need to survive. So we're going to talk about specialty water, in specifically alkaline and Kangen water. And to talk with us about all of that today, we have our special guest, Benjamin Moore.
Hello, beautiful people. Hope everyone out there is staying hydrated and having a great Thursday.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us, Benjamin. So excited you're here. And you're going to be having cacao with us and sharing some knowledge. And yeah.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate and I'm grateful for you even asking me to speak on what we're talking about today. But I appreciate you asking me to be a part of this. It's
absolutely
amazing.
Always happy to get more information for all of our listeners and viewers. Really just trying to get that out there for them so they don't have to search for it. They've got a home base here. They can come sit in our living room and just learn.
Right. The introduction, I feel like, is very embodying of what you're doing, healing, light, and love. So kudos to you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll get started today, like we do with every episode, with our cacao.
Wow.
Yeah. Every week we have some cacao together. It's amazing. And this week too, if anyone is interested and local to Southern California, this Saturday I am doing a live cacao ceremony at Learning Light Foundation in Anaheim. So feel free to check out Learning Light Foundation's website if you are interested in joining live. But since we're doing the show, we will have the cacao that we've prepared today. And as always, I'm going to just go over what's in today's cacao, partially to give you guys a little bit more information and partially to let you know what you are going to be drinking.
I like surprises. I'll try anything 3 times.
Three might be too many. It's like the people that had to try the mushrooms. What happens to you? Yeah. So today's cacao, we have Keith's Cacao, which is my favorite from Guatemala and always available through my website. Filtered water, which we don't have Kangen right now because I didn't have any at home. I use my Berkey filter, but it is still highly filtered, just not alkaline. And some local raw honey. So all of those good things that will help with antihistamines, really help with the allergies. And the kind of like special ingredient this week is pau d'arco.
Ooh.
It's an Amazonian tree bark that is anti-inflammatory, antiviral, helps with your skin. It's pretty much anything that's in your system is going to knock it out.
Wow.
So if you go back in history, people would use it against polio. Right now, it's really good to use against candida or thrush or any kind of yeast. It'll just clear that out right away. So really good with skin conditions too, because it kind of does the same thing. And also with parasites, helps with clearing parasites.
Wow, sounds like a superhero detoxifier.
Yeah, I say that about a lot of things. Like there's a lot of herbs that'll be like, this is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
But pau d'arco is kind of the sleeper powerhouse. Because usually with like the powerhouse herbs, when you taste it, it kicks you back in the mouth. Like it just hits you in the back of the jaw. But with pau d'arco, it's such a subtle flavor that you can have a tea and you're good. Where some of the other ones, you really need to do a tincture in like a super flavored smoothie or take it as a capsule because it's just too much.
Right.
But this one, how I used it for the cacao and how I commonly use it is I'll brew it as a tea. And then for the cacao, use the tea as the base, or, other times just drink the tea.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty
excited.
good. It's nice instead of
it sounds amazing. Like it sounds like love in a cup.
Well, that's cacao in general.
Right.
Cacao is already love.
Right.
And this is like love plus a doctor.
Plus the doctor? You mean I don't even have to go to the emergency room? I just write in my cup?
I'm not giving medical information, but it is a very powerful herb.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what we do is a little ceremony, bless our cacao, bring in all of our energy, our guides, all the fun things. So you get to choose whether you want to close your eyes, leave them open. I like to hold my cacao in front of my heart center because cacao is a very heart-centered plant medicine. And just taking an inhale, sniffing in your cacao, letting the scent fill you first. Giving your cacao a stir if you need to. Taking a sip. Feeling the cacao and the energy of the cacao floating over the back of your tongue, to your throat, down past your heart, past your solar plexus, down through your sacral and your ground, where you connect to the earth. Taking another sip. And feeling it again, passing over your tongue to the back of your throat, and this time up towards your third eye or brow center, right in between your eyes, where you hold all of your knowing, and up out the crown or top of your head, connecting you to the sky and everything above. Taking another sip. And letting that energy just fill you all the way to your fingertips, all the way out to your toes, to the ends of your hair follicles. Just completely filling you, expanding your heart. And in gratitude, calling in the thanks to all of your guides and guardians, to all of the plant, animal, and nature spirits, to the cacao spirit herself, to all of our ancestors and relatives, to all of our friends and family, seen and unseen, for co-creating with us, guiding us, and joining us on this journey, filling the rest of our cacao and our bodies and all of the cacao in our bodies with the vibrations for an amazing weekend coming up. Because who couldn't use an amazing weekend? Full of magic. I'm continuing to sip or chug your cacao, whatever you feel called to do.
Getting crazy with the cacao.
Yeah. Just listen to what your body is calling for and what your higher self, your conscious, that feeling in your gut. If it says, chug it down, chug it down.
Do you ever have those times, those bouts where you just chug a whole cup?
I try not to. There was one time that I did just because I was like, oh no, I have to get out the door. And I didn't.
I got stuff to do today.
No, it was a day that I had a lot of chili in it.
Okay. Oh, man.
A lot of chili in it. So it didn't make for an experience I wanted to repeat. And the cacao spirit was like, hey, this is what you get when you try to rush me. And I was like, yeah, okay. I see this.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And so I never did that again.
I can imagine. It's gnarly.
Yeah.
So, and then you said out to the hair follicles. What do you do when people are bald or they don't have any facial, like any hair? Like, what happens then?
You still have eyebrows. You still have eyelashes.
Okay.
You still have hairs on your arms and maybe your legs.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you don't have any hair at all anywhere, then just feel that vibrating buzz throughout all of your skin.
Okay.
I mean, your skin is the biggest organ. So hell yeah, let it shine.
Dope.
Ah.
Okay. Nice.
Well, it's like anytime that I do any of the relaxing meditations and, in a full cacao workshop or cacao ceremony, if we have that time for meditation after, I will encourage everyone to relax and release every part of their body. And I make sure that I mention scalp because that takes you out of this very like 3D, you're used to these body parts. Like nobody ever says relax your scalp.
Right.
So then
can you please relax your cranium?
Right. Yeah. So it totally like changes your mindset. You just go into a whole different place and you actually relax. So yeah, use that one next time
you. That's deep.
Next time you're having some meditation issues.
We're all just gonna release our scalps.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's a big one. Or like your fingernails, like pick something that's weird and little and people aren't like used to hearing relax and release. Like you say relax and release your heart or relax and release your hips and people are like, oh yeah, duh.
Right.
All the time. I have so much tension there. And usually you do. But if you say relax and release your fingertips, people are like, how do I?
It's a trip. Huh?
I need to think about this.
Yeah.
And getting them to think so hard about something so little takes them out of their head and into their body.
Right. That's good. I like that.
Tips and tricks from the cacao crowd.
Oh, shout out to the cacao crowd dropping gems on the people.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That's what this whole show's about.
Yeah.
And speaking of fun facts, it's fun fact time. I picked this one specifically because I feel like it goes with water really well. Because what happens when you drink too much water?
You got to use the bathroom a lot.
There you go.
Yes.
So there is a type of frog all around the U.S. and some other countries, very commonly in Alaska, called a wood frog that can hold its urine for 8 months.
Wow.
8 months.
Holy cacao.
I like it. Oh my God, I'm going to use it. Don't worry, I'll credit you every time. This show is going so well. No. Yeah. So the wood frog, because Alaska gets so cold, goes into hibernation and will actually use its urine and the urea in the urine to transfer and kind of change it into nitrogen, which then almost cryogenically freezes all of the internals of the frog, and it looks like this little ice-covered rock. Because, of course, when I'm searching these fun facts and watching videos,
I was gonna ask some questions about how but I was like, you know what? It's probably better that I don't know the process.
there's some of them that
because like, how do you find that one? Like that's amazing. That's
how often do frogs pee now?
Right? Do frogs drink cacao?
I don't think that would go well. I know horses, dogs, and cats can't. I haven't looked up frogs specifically, but I don't see that ending well. But yeah.
Yeah.
So wood frogs can hold their pee for up to 8 months.
It's intense.
Yeah. Unlike us, where I know personally half the time I can't hold it for 8 minutes if I've drank that much water.
I'm pretty sure you die after like 20 over 48 hours. You hold it in.
Maybe that's the next fun fact. How long can
something
a person
like that? Don't quote me on the exact time, but you hold it in.
No, because urea for us turning into nitrogen would be deadly. So
spontaneous human combustion, right? Something like that. You just kind of blow up and out of nowhere.
Yeah. So anyway, let's talk about the benefits instead of the drawbacks of drinking water.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Like we should probably not talk about people exploding.
Hey, well, without the bad, you never know what good is, right?
Fair.
Right?
Without the dark, you never see the stars.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's get into Kangen water, alkalized water, alkaline water. How are all of those things different and how are they the same? Because I know there's a difference between alkaline and alkalized, and which one is Kangen. And
okay,
yeah,
let's do it.
Yeah.
So, big question: alkaline versus alkalized. So, from my understanding, alkaline water is synthetically manipulated to make it alkaline, which you would add minerals into the water. And then the conversation comes in, is drinking too much alkaline water bad? When you put it like that, it can be bad for you if you're drinking too many synthetic minerals, right? Now, when we talk about alkalized water is water that is electrically charged water. There's a process which basically you're adding electricity to the water, which makes it become as close to natural mineral spring water that has electricity in it. There's certain springs around the world. There's one in Lourdes, France. There's one in Mexico, and people are going to drink these waters, and they're lining up for hours to get this water because the water is healing them. And the reason for that is there's something called active hydrogen in the water.
And that's a smaller particle, right?
Essentially, yes. There's something called hydroxyl, which is it's a negative oxygen with a hydrogen molecule, which makes active hydrogen. So essentially, when we talk about Kangen water, it's a Japanese machine, and they looked and they were like, well, how do we duplicate this process of this natural spring water that's healing people? And they realized that they could make active hydrogen through the electrolysis process, which is adding electricity to the water. And that's where they got Kangen water. So that essentially, I don't like calling Kangen water alkaline water for the fact, which I just said, alkaline water is synthetic made water. What we're dealing with is a ionized water. An alkalized ionized water is how I would describe Kangen water.
Okay. Okay.
So, long story short, Kangen water has electricity in the water. The machine adds electricity to the water, as basic as I can say it, with the active hydrogen, which is when you're about to die, what do the EMTs do? They come over and what do they do?
The little shock.
They try to shock you, because from my understanding, the human body is made of electricity, oxygen, and water. Those are the only three things that you need to survive. So if I know that, why would I not consume something where I could drink that constantly, adding a negative charge to my cells and my molecules? So that's kind of how I see it.
Okay, interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong, but Japanese hospitals have all
the major hospitals in Japan use Kangen water, use Kangen machines. So
only, right?
Only,
like that's the only water they have.
Correct. And then the man that created the colonoscopy, Hiromi Hishinya, he will not treat anybody unless they're drinking Kangen water. And this man created the colonoscopy.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a little bomb of knowledge I didn't know.
Yeah.
Thanks. So when doing research on Kangen, enagic, is that how you say it?
Yeah. So
kept coming up.
Enagic stands for energy and magic.
Okay. And what is enagic versus Kangen? So
Kangen is the product that Enagic makes. Enagic is the company that makes Kangen machines.
Got it. And do they make anything else?
They make filters, like pre-filters for the machines. We have something called Ukan, which is turmeric straight from Japan. It's just straight raw turmeric. It's the best turmeric I take it every day. But their main focus is Kangen machines. That's what we do. But to answer your question, we do make that.
Quick segue, since you mentioned turmeric, if anyone's going to take turmeric, remember that you need to take it with something fat soluble in order to get the benefits, and definitely add black pepper. Otherwise, your curcumin won't come out. Sorry.
No, for sure, that's a great jam.
Yeah. Okay. So the Kangen water, good to drink. Why?
It's great to drink because
I know the slogan is change your water, change your life. Right. And that's a big claim. So
right. I would say it's amazing to drink because essentially the water, out of any other water that I've seen, and this is I haven't been to any of the springs that I was talking about before, and if I was there, I would 100% drink that water. Kangen water allows your body to do what it's supposed to do over any other water, which is heal itself. And when I look at maybe these plastic bottles that we're drinking, a lot of the new alkaline plastic bottles have ingredients in them, something called sodium bicarbonate, which is baking soda. And by the time you consume the water in the bottle, it's been sitting in that bottle for about 1.5 years, 2 years, which we know water erodes things. So it would erode the plastic, and you're essentially drinking all these chemicals in plastic. So when I see that, and I know that the machine adds electricity to the water, which no other water ionizer can do. And like I said before, if I'm about to die, the EMTs are going to shock my heart. Why would I not be drinking that?
Right. No, I
no.
get it.
Yeah. No, that's just that's the passion coming out. I'm not like, why are you questioning me? Why would I drink Kangen water? But then I run into like the spiritual community a lot where they're like, well, I don't want to drink this water because it's manipulated. It's manipulated by a machine. It's not nature. And I'm like, well, that's cool. One, I don't know anyone that's died from drinking water. I've only know people that have had amazing health benefits from drinking the water. You can't.
Like what? What have you experienced?
So I've experienced the machine you can travel with since it's medical grade. So when I first started talking about it, I was talking about it nonstop, and everyone thought I was crazy. And you moved to California, and you got into schemes, blah 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 blah.
Crazy,
right? Crazy is good. Crazy works if you know how to use it right. So I brought my machine home with me. My brother and my mom are both diabetics. Oh man, this is funny because I'm not even talking about what happened with me. I'll go straight to the family. So sorry, I just had that's powerful.
We all tend to.
Yeah. So my brother, the medication that he takes for his diabetes will dry his stomach out, where he'll go like multiple days without having a bowel movement. So I brought my machine home. My brother listens to me, and I was like, yo, drink this water. And he's like, all right. My mom, super skeptical, wouldn't drink the water. And I'm like, why? It's water. But, that's another story. So my brother's drinking the water. His bowel movements are hitting like crazy. Like he's flushing out. And that's one big thing that the water does is anti-inflammatory. So it's going to push things out. It's a detoxifier. Right before I leave, he had a doctor's appointment, and he told me that the doctor was like, his sugar levels were the most normal they've been in years. And they're like, what are you doing? But like he at the time didn't connect the water, and he's like, I don't know. So I come back to LA. My mom didn't drink the water the whole time. My brother must have said something to my mother. So I go back a second time with my machine. And right before I'm about to head back, my mom goes, I just want to let you know I didn't have to take my acid reflux medicine the whole time you were home. And she goes, I was drinking the water without you knowing. And I was like, wow.
Okay.
And then this is when I first started. So I was hearing all of these stories, and I was like, I don't know. And then through my process, I was a little less skeptical. And then what happened with my mom and my brother, I was like, whoa, there's something here. And since it's helped my family and helped me with health benefits, I'm like, I got to dive all into this. So I've been involved with drinking Kangen and helping people get machines for the last 2 years. And to me, it's like I've been in Kangen school, where I've just been learning as much as I can about this. So yeah, those are some of the health benefits I've seen outside of myself. And that's one of many stories that I have. But when it hits the family, it's a little more powerful.
Yeah, no, definitely. Especially, if you're in a situation where you're concerned about your family's health because there is something specific going on. And I mean, personally, I can say I did my own little experiment because it's what I do. And I, for about 2 weeks, was drinking just Kangen water. And when I stopped, took about 2-3 days, but my skin got really dry. And I was like, oh, I don't like this.
Yeah. I have a friend. She has some pretty not too bad, but she has some acne. And I gave her the water for the first 2 days. Her acne cleared up. And again, it's because the water is a very strong antioxidant. And when I look at sicknesses and diseases, no disease, including cancer, can live in an alkaline environment. This is a known fact. There's a doctor by the name of Dr. Warburg who won a Nobel Peace Prize for stating that. And to me, that's just knowledge that we've known. He just brought it to the science field. And a alkaline environment is an oxygen rich environment. So when I look at cancer patients, 99.9% of cancer patients are oxygen deprived in their body, right? And Kangen water has 30% more oxygen in the water than any other water out there. So when I look at that, that's why acne might clear up, because the anti-inflammatory and the fact that it's an anti-aging water and all the oxygen that's in the water.
Okay. Well, and I mean, generally speaking, our bodies were built to be in a more alkaline state. Most of us are very high pH, predominantly because of what our diets are and our high stress levels. So, I can't say for sure that it's the water that's going to make the difference, but we do need to be cognizant
Right.
of our pH. It is very
100%.
important.
100%.
It's definitely important.
100%.
Yeah, cool. And my understanding, Kangen also makes shower filters and bath filters and laundry filters and all of the things.
I don't know about laundry filters, but they make a shower head called the Anespa.
Okay.
So it filters the water and it makes the water like very like soft. People call it the oh my god shower because it just makes your skin super soft. And,
I like it.
But yeah, the machine makes a few different drinking waters. And just real quick, can I talk about like pH? Because I know sometimes people get misconstrued with that. So I've ran into a lot of debates with like teachers, like science teachers and people like that. Because
we're going back to 7th grade.
I have a friend that's a nurse and she completely wrote me off when I got into Kangen water because she's like, what you're doing is a scam. The water doesn't change your pH. Like that's all a lie. I never will ever say that drinking a high pH is going to change the pH of your blood because I don't think that that's true. What I see is when we talk about a high pH versus an acidic pH, right? I know that if I drink too many sodas, if I drink too much alcohol, if I drink too many carbonated beverages, which are acidic, it's going to have a very bad effect on my health, i.e. diabetes, heart disease, cancer, right? And that's because it's depriving your body of oxygen because of the acidity. So how do I combat that? By consuming things with high oxygen, which is a high pH, right? pH stands for potential hydrogen. And if I'm drinking Kangen water that has a high pH or any Kangen water that has a high pH, it's going to be able to combat that acidity. So I asked them, I'm like, well, if the Kangen water is not affecting your pH, what are these acidic beverages doing? And I never get an answer back.
So I had looked that up because, you know, when I'm doing research on something, I want to try to find the full story. From what I understand and from what a couple of different medical studies have reported, it was that they couldn't test the blood for the pH, but there were signs that the cell pH had changed throughout the body, which is not something they can test with like a quantifiable test, but it was something that there were other signs throughout the body that they kind of were able to deduce that this had happened. So there is some backup information for that. Real quick, because we are getting towards the end of the show and running out of time. The one question I do want to cover though is when you're using a Kangen machine, you have the spout that comes out that you fill your container or your bottle, your cup with, and then there's this runoff. What happens to that water? Because, you know, everybody's so big on conservation and saving now. Yeah. Can that water be used for something?
That water can, it's just so the machine essentially strips the minerals to one side and then the stuff that's in the tap water, like fluoride and chlorine, to the other side. And that's the waste that's coming out of that tube is the bad stuff. You could use it for something. I wouldn't. I don't know what I would use it for.
I think we need to find a way to turn that into water to flush your toilet with.
Okay, that'd be a great idea. Yeah. I like it.
Because I don't like the wasting water aspect of it. But I think we may have a new business here.
I like it. I like where we're headed with this. This is cool.
Awesome. Yeah. And then also the Kangen machines have different settings on them for pH. Yeah. So what are the top 3 things that you would be able to use Kangen for? Obviously drinking.
Top 3 things. There's a 2.5, which is an acidic water. So it kills 99.9% of germs. And last year in the US, Enagic had its top year in sales because instead of getting hand sanitizer, you fill up a spray bottle, spray your hands, and you completely clean your hands. No more Lysol, wipe down countertops. There's a beauty water on there. A lot of the women are starting to no more tone. You don't have to buy toner anymore, and they're making beauty products with the beauty water. I think that's a 6.0 pH. And then there's just a regular 7.0 filtered cleaning or just filtered clean water that you would give to a child because you don't want to give children or babies alkaline water because they're already basically alkaline and would get them sick. So the drinking waters, the cleaning water, and then the beauty water. And then the strongest water is the 11.5, and that's used for people who are like really sick, like cancer patients, dialysis. And we have them drink that about 2 to 3 times a week, probably 3 times a week.
Wow.
I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so if somebody wanted to get more information, what's the best way to contact you?
Contact me on Instagram. My page is Be More Alive, BMOOR Alive. You can email me at BMOORE 1834 @gmail.com. I don't know about throwing my number on here, but
I mean, whatever you're comfortable with, but we do
Yeah,
have
yeah.
your IG in the
Yeah,
show notes
yeah,
on
right.
this show,
Yeah.
so they can connect there. And I
Mhm.
believe you gave me your Facebook to throw in the show notes too, so
Yep.
that should be accessible for anyone listening who wants to connect.
Yeah.
As always, please like, comment, subscribe, and share this show, this page, our amazing guests that come here and talk to you and share all of their information. So thank you, Benjamin, for joining us today.
Thank you for what you do. This is it's really amazing. So I'm excited to know you, and I can't wait to keep collabing with you.
Awesome. Oh, and I almost forgot, we do have some Kangen water here. So just so you can see, it does look like regular water. And
oh
it's
yeah,
sealed.
Ooh.
Smells like regular water. Wait.
Strong, huh?
Tastes like better water.
Change your water, change your life.
Yeah. So we'll have to do some studies on that. Definitely hit up the Facebook community and my IG. Let me know if you're trying it. Let me know what you think about it. And I look forward to seeing you guys again next week, and anyone who makes it out to the event this weekend in Anaheim. Thank you so much.
Salud.
So much love.
Peace.